take 4. Lucky number 4. We're going to talk about the Nerf Rival Nemesis. Rival Blaster came out kind of around when Toys R Us was closing. So 2017, I think. 2016? 2017. And they came in red and blue. This was still when they were doing the red versus blue. Not to be confused with the web series. It's a hopper-fed blaster, so you load the rival rounds through this little door, and then basically a little agitator in here jostles them around, and they feed into a conveyor belt to the flywheel cage, and then they get launched out. This is basically what I wish the Vulcan was, as far as like laying down, covering fire, etc. I've said previously how rival blasters tend to do their accuracy in volume as opposed to individual, like single shot. This is definitely the accuracy through volume. This, at the time, I think was the highest stock capacity, onboard capacity for a blaster. It was 100 rounds. That's unheard of as far as like what before that might have been the Adventure Force like mag super drum, maybe. I have no idea. It would have been 25 to 50. Shoot, when the Vulcan came out, that was a pretty high capacity for full auto, like darts, and that's in like those 25 darts. That's laughable now, as far as like having like a 22 round like worker mag in a rapid strike or something like that. Like the times have truly changed. But anyway, it takes D batteries, C batteries, one of the big ones that not a whole lot of people have. They did come up with a rechargeable battery pack. The batteries go back here. It kind of makes it into, this honestly has some of my favorite shouldering in a blaster. And I don't know if you can still hear me down there. Front sight, flippable. You may not need it. You can take the hopper out by flipping up this, but you never really have to change the hopper while you're playing, because you can just open up this door and drop rounds in. It's a very quick and easy reload. See, there's the agitators here, and then they jiggle. I'm trying really hard not to say like jostle the balls around, you know. It's difficult. It's kind of why it's tough to do this. There's a conveyor belt right here, and it yoinks them into the flywheel cage up here. So now that I've gotten all up in this thing's guts, metaphorical guts, nope. LOL, fake gamer girl. They did come up with a rechargeable battery pack, which, like, right in here, it's got like an AC wall plug style charging. It does lighten the blaster a little bit, and it does, there were reports of it operating better with the battery pack, whatever. It was just like, it also worked with the, I don't remember the name of the 40 round magazine one that had those wonky ass magazines. Anyway, yeah, so at the time, that one was the highest capacity rival blaster, and that was 40 rounds. It was a pain to reload. It took forever. When I make a video on that, when I have one still, you'll see like the difference in loading the magazine. The magazine could actually unload itself while you were doing it. Pain in the ass. And also, they never really got around to selling those magazines separately, and so if you wanted to run that in a blast in a war or a game or whatever, you had to buy multiples of those blasters, and that's kind of I understand why people do it. I personally can't get around to that. I would rather run a different blaster, I guess. But now you have a ton of onboard storage. All you have to do is buy this and the batteries. Could use more sling points, admittedly. You got a small one back here. You got a nice one right there. I would like to see this like mixed with the Vulcan, of course. Like a bipod or something. Maybe a box over here, just for the looks. Because like this thing operates like a light machine gun. It kind of looks like it too. This is the barrel down here because since everything feeds. Shoop. Nerf kind of took off with this for a little bit because the Prometheus, I think, they basically made a HMG version of it and, you know, went to town with it. And then, I mean, they were selling Rival as a speedball, paintball kind of alternative. And this is the first time that they got around to using hoppers, which I think is a little funny. But I got this brand new. Actually, we went and scouted out looking for it in Toys R Us's. And bought it brand new. And then, but because I've said in the past that Rival rounds, that they don't stop like darts do. They tend to keep going. And the kid in me wanted to just keep, you know, flinging foam all over the house. But at the time, these were like shooting quarters out and just like wherever they are, wherever they end up in a dusty corner in the house somewhere. And I didn't like picking up anything. But so I sadly have shelved this. It's got a rail right here. And so a lot of mods that folks would do, I mean, essentially it was just increasing the capacity. Sorry, I keep doing that. It's got a little safety here that turns the batteries off. So, you may have seen there's a video with Adam Savage from formerly the Mythbusters. He was like, I'm going to make this thing have 1,000 round capacity. And he made this huge, like, banana style magazine that's like a little unnecessary because he didn't want to go wider. He just went vertically. It looks impressive. It also looks a little, I mean, there are easier ways to do it. You can literally, let me show you. Ta-da. You just cut a hole in the bottom of this. These are my darts. I'm not just holding a bucket of shit dirt up. There's a few locks in it that you have to, you know, but I think this is the main one. Yeah, so like, you just get something, either remove this lock or just have something pushing down on it. And you can, hell, you could probably vertically feed mega darts through this. It would probably be, at the time, it was probably the best way to run mega darts. Also a good way to lose them, but feels good to reload. Folks aren't really doing that. They're actually, it researched the use of the paintball pods. You might have seen them. They look like test tubes, plastic test tubes. People fit paintballs, and they open up the hopper. So, just to demonstrate sort of what that might look like is, I have a little 7-rounder here, and then you can just, the difficulty is because I'm trying to find the button here. So now you've got, I've also filled this up pretty high. So now you have a high rate of fire, have high performance. It's not, so like the Vulcan had high rate of fire at the time. It had a high onboard storage of 25 darts, had a slow rate of fire, and also it was a electronic Springer, which when they are stock, they aren't that great. And they're very whiny because they're using a gearbox. It's essentially like an airsoft gun. So it's very sewing machine sounding. And the performance, unless you were savvy, was kind of subpar. And I saw that personally as like the great equalizer. And that, yeah, you can have like single shot, like rainbow blasters or souped up night finders or anything like that, and you can get one kick-ass shot out of it. Or you can have like the mag-fed blasters, which would have like a high rate of fire or whatever at the cost of having to reload magazines or whatever. And then the electronic blasters, the Stampede, most of my knowledge before N-Strike is really hazy, so naturally there's going to be other... They have like some air pressure ones that used like a clip system. Those would be full auto as well, but those are pump and dumps in that I don't see anybody just like, I'm going to squeeze off a burst, pump twice, and then brat. They're going to pump it up to max. They're going to shoot off the full magazine, and then with air pump a lot of blasters, because that's kind of how they work, or at least that's how I see them working. So I can't imagine anybody else doing anything different. There's not a whole lot of like regulated brat, 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 you know. It's better with electronics, or it was easier to regulate with electronics. Why is that so long? Oh my god. Wow, that bugs me. Here now this is a will she cut that on camera? Oh dear. What? Yeah, why is that so... Bruh. What the fuck? Ooh-wee. Yeah, that's... Sorry. Because this ain't getting cut out. Okay, that'll buy me some time. Anyway, so those with higher rate of fires either had longer reload times or lower performance, so you'd have to like get into a better position or what have you. And then those that had high performance tended to have, like, you could reload them a little quicker, you get one good shot or whatever. Rate of fire wasn't necessarily... It's like damage per hit versus damage per second. You can either do a lot of damage, that's not a... You can do lots of minimal damage really quickly, or you can do a lot of damage once, just to use video game terms or whatever. So this, to me, messed all that up, because not only does this perform really well, it's also quick to reload, and you're probably going to hit your target. It was a mixture of both worlds. I mean, you could just literally, at any point, like, there is a lock here, I believe. Yeah, so you can, which is removable or overrideable. Oh no, I could see it again. To where you can run this thing with the door open, and you can just keep topping off as you go. There have been wars that I have been to that I like to play scavenger loadouts, to where I just don't really have a magazine. I just have a blaster that can load a few shots and then use those instead of stocking up a lot of magazines in the beginning and then using them intermittently throughout the game. Where I will just pick up rival rounds, even if I'm not, especially for like Humans versus Zombies or some sort of like defense style, like King of the Hill style. If I see somebody nearby who was using one of these, I would keep a pouch full of rival rounds, to where inevitably, because a high rate of fire, a lot of enemies or whatever, they are our heavy gunner. So I can give you just a little bit more reload. Just a, like a support character type thing. Anyway, I've talked about this too long to not shoot it. But it's mainly because I don't want to shoot it and then have to go look for the dart. So I've arranged kind of a bucket that I'm hoping that's going to catch all of these. Hopefully. So. Now, because it's a hopper, and because of the nature of hoppers, you do sometimes have to give it a little shimmy. Angel Woman. I love the sound of Rival Blasters when the ball leaves the barrel. It's such a good, satisfying sound. I've still got a few in there, but y'all get the picture. So, big boy, very cool. There are videos of people who put high capacity, like literally tubs, as I was, you couldn't see it because it was down here, but the bucket that I showed earlier, people mounting them on, they essentially became like the automated sentry style, whatever. Very neat blaster. Sadly leaving the armory that I have here, but I'm hoping it's going to a good home of somebody who will use it and take more care of it than I did. Because now I have 2 or 3 more Fortnite blasters, and apparently those are lighter and easier to pack rather than this one. Anyway, I've already rambled on enough. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far. You're a real one. But if you want to see the rest of the blasters I'm selling, I'll leave my various links in the, what's it called? Section below the video. And I'll see you all in the next one. See ya.